Weather has been gorgeous. We have had record-breaking temperatures, but we have really tried to keep on track with our exploration. This is our school. We have about 850 7th and 8th graders, and our concentration has been with 97th graders, and they're studying a life science curriculum. We've been able to incorporate our investigations on the geese and the just climate investigations to, we've been able to have them fit with our ecology unit, and also when we were studying the protists and the microinvertebrates, it's been great. Well, you know, we started out with some driving questions. When we first began, we began talking about the geese, and my students had so many things to share. Good things, bad things. Almost every child has had some interaction in the community with the geese. So there was interest. We began thinking about how things had changed in our community, and we were wondering about the climate change producing migratory route changes and how this was affecting our local water supplies. We had some students, okay, we'll try to talk louder. We're getting a lot of feedback back here, so we're going to keep working it. Some of our kids have been checking the climate over the past 35 years in North Alabama. So we were glad to hear some of the site data that we can go, some places to go. We have had students checking the migration patterns. We have had a survey sent out to the community trying to find out how it's been affected. In any case, we've got a lot of things being researched. We started out by looking at one of the sites that is very local to us. We can walk to this little stream in about 5 minutes. We went out to start mapping our site. They were checking it out. Now this is in August. And so we've really been able to see a lot of changes over the season. They did some of their data collection. They've done sketched and just have generally had a good time. These children are part of special education class, wonderful groups because they have felt so successful and have really been enthralled with the whole investigation. They have been Rhonda's going to tell you a little bit about our next activity.
So after they had mapped their sites and we had talked about their driving questions, we began with the hydrology protocol. The first thing that we did was the turbidity, and it was great because it was a good one to start with, that we could learn, how to do everything. I'm sorry if I'm pausing. There's a lot of feedback. Hold 1 second. Please let me know if that is not loud enough. I turned it down so that it wouldn't be so distracting to us. So we took the students out and we taught them about turbidity. They had a lot of questions, and as they learned to do the protocol, they figured out that maybe the geese were causing some of these differences in the turbidity. And also they had questions about maybe that's why the geese chose different places to habitat. And so that was a great activity that allowed them to think and allowed them to come up with some of their questions. You can see some of their pictures that we tried to not let them fall in that creek, and no one did. But just learning to throw the bucket was quite a quite a feat. So as they learned about turbidity, and I told you they had questions of their own, we also used 2 other sites. One was called James Clemens High School site. I had to bring that water over because we couldn't bring the kids there. So that was okay because we had different things that we could compare. And that was what was so wonderful, is that they had collected data from different sources and then came up with some of their own hypotheses. All right, Leigh is going to talk to you about the leaf packs, which was an idea that we got after we started.
As Rhonda said, we were sort of inspired by some of the earlier webinars talking about this leaf pack activity. And we thought, okay, we can do this. The kids were very, very much enthralled. We started out, of course, going out into our site area and collecting leaves. This has become sort of a driving activity all over the school. People are always coming up and checking out how are the geese people doing. What's happening? What are we doing? So we had a lot of visitors as well as we were collecting and doing our leaf pack. You can see some of the girls here. They're being very careful in their selection of which leaves had to go into their pack. After we had gotten these done, we had 9 packs that we set up. And I elected to be the one to bury our leaf packs and get them set up in our stream. We had a group of students leave without permission from a local youth restricted area. And so without knowing about this, I was merrily wading into the creek with my rope and my bricks and everything else. And I happened to look up and I had 3 police cars surrounding my vehicle. And they came dashing down the bank and were saying, Miss Adams, you've got to get out of here. We have the dogs out looking for the students. So needless to say, I said, okay, I've got to put this last one in place. And then I rapidly left the area. It's been a lot of fun, though. Okay, we're going to switch off again and talk about learning our protocols.
A little later on, we taught the students about pH, nitrates, and phosphates. We again collected water samples from all of our different sites, our own creek on the campus, as well as the high school, UA Huntsville, and one other pond that we found on the way. So what they did was test the sample, collect their data. You can see here that we put up some pretty simple things for them to follow. And again, this was great practice for them just in the scientific process and keeping their measurements accurate and collecting data, recording it, that sort of thing. And the end, they put up a big poster and started to analyze, trying to, refer it back to the Goose project and maybe what was going on. We were getting to get some ideas of things that they might want to research.
I'm going to try this again. Hope all of you can hear me. Our next talk is until January 16th. It's going to be at 4:30 p.m. And we'll have Mike and Sue giving a talk, and also Linda, Deb, and Wendy. And our crew speaker, I don't know how to say his name, but I think it was Watchery, but I'm not sure his last name. But he'll be here as well. He's a global alumni. So I hope you